With the third pick of the 2017 NBA draft, Boston Celtics select Jayson Tatum of Duke University, and boy, did that work out for Beantown. The 6'8" forward from St. Louis was coming to Beantown to save the day, hopefully, and Tatum was drafted after Markelle Fultz at the first pick and Lonzo Ball at the second pick, and we could tell right away that he was going to be the best player from that generation. Danny Ainge did a great job at trading away the first pick, grabbing Jayson at the third spot and pairing him with Jaylen Brown, which is a great move from the start. Playing most of his freshman season at only 18 years old, Tatum averaged 16.8 points and looked notably better than the draft's other highest profile players. Right from the jump, Jayson showed that he could be the team leader, which we mostly expect from top picks from Duke. One of the virtues that stand out for Tatum when compared to other prospects is what NBA scouts really appreciated from him was his difficult shot making. With his 6'8" frame and an already solid NBA body, he has the ability to create great looks for himself. One thing we can't forget about Jayson, considering the way NBA has evolved over time into a three-point shooting league, is that Tatum is capable of knocking down mid-range shots coming off of pick and roll or creating for himself in isolation situations. Even though scouts had some concerns with the three-point shooting, having in mind that he relies more on mid-range and strong drives to the basket. Tatum proved everybody wrong, shooting almost 40% from beyond the arc in his career so far. In season 2017-2018, Boston reached the Eastern Conference Finals, providing the Celtics' young core necessary playoff experience, which would certainly benefit them in years to come. The thing that JT doesn't shy away from is most definitely improving and learning from the best. He showed that in the offseason by learning from legend Kobe Bryant. We would see the results of that cooperation in the seasons to come as Tatum started shooting more contested fadeaways and crazy out-of-balance shots. And what is crazier, he was knocking them down from everywhere. And this would lead to the media even comparing him to the legendary Bean himself. And the oldest son of Brandy Cole and Jayson Tatum really showed he means business in season 2019-2020, where he would go on to average 23.4 points on 48% shooting for 2 and 40% for 3 points and 81% from the free throw line, which would place him among the most reliable but at the same time most electrifying forwards in the league. Not to mention that he also managed to average 7 rebounds and dish out 3 assists throughout the season. JT was crowned this season by getting his first All-Star appearance and being selected in the third All-NBA squad. One of the few things that impressed us most about Jayson Tatum is that he showed cockiness against the league's biggest superstars. You can all remember Boston's posterizing LeBron and getting into his face after the dunk at only 20 years old. And what indicates huge confidence in Jayson is the statement he had about that dunk. I think the world realized it. LeBron had realized it at that point. I was 20 years old. I remember obviously being upset. It was Game 7, and you want to go to the finals, but I remember I'm going to be pretty good at this. Tatum showed in the 2021 season that he can thrive, even without his partner in crime Jaylen Brown, when he would go on to average 26 points, 7.2 rebounds, and 4.4 assists in 51 games without Jaylen Brown. But the Celtics fell short to the Brooklyn Nets in the first round of the playoffs. Even with that in mind, Celtics forward had a great season, solidifying his role as one of the best two-way players in the league. The season of 2021 would go on to reach the conference finals again with JT as their leader, but unfortunately lost in 6 games to the Miami Heat. What stands out in that series is Game 2, where Bam Adebayo prevented Tatum's game-winning dunk with a ferocious block. Even with that in mind, Celtics forward had a great season, solidifying his role as one of the best two-way players in the league. What makes us appreciate JT even more is the elegancy in his game, in his shot, and in his playmaking ability. I would often find myself watching hours of Tatum's mid-range pull-ups and off-balance fadeaways. Some may say that you can't figure out whether his shot is one motion or 2 motions, but one thing is for sure, his form is nice and silky. His high ball setting and quick release almost make it impossible for defenders to block, not to mention his shooting in the post, where he could turn over both shoulders and shoot efficiently. When it comes to his playmaking skills, we often see him throwing great passes off pick and rolls to the likes of Tyus, Williams, or Horford, where they would get an easy dunk. Also, with the Celtics' motions with Brad Stevens, but with Udoka as well, we could see a lot of backdoor passes for Jaylen Brown. We all know how fundamentally sound Duke players are, so we shouldn't be much surprised that a player like Jayson Tatum has developed that kind of all-around skill set. Celtic fans were heartbroken last season as they fell short to the Golden State Warriors in the NBA Finals, and the Celtics team led by Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown showed all-around bravery. They became arguably the best defensive team in the league, as a lot of teams struggled to get open shots against them, with strong defenders in Horford, Smart, Robert, and Grant Williams, and even Peyton Pritchard giving a great contribution to the Celtics defense. Could the Boston Celtics stand out as favorites for this title season? Even with the recent controversy including their former coach, Ime Udoka, they are currently holding the first place in Eastern Conference with JT averaging 31 points, 7.8 boards, and 4.5 dimes. And a lot of people say that this could be Tatum's MVP season if the Celtics have a good regular season record. And the way he's playing, it's not far from the truth. For a team that already has 2 ECF finals and 1 NBA finals game, this could be the season where they conquer the throne. We can hear Celtics fans chanting MVP to Tatum almost every game. Could he get the club back on their title-winning standards? There might be a ton of experience and pressure on Tatum and Boston's shoulders heading into the new season, but knowing that the St. Louis native is ready to face the challenge and rise to the occasion as one of the team's leaders, it should add everybody sleeping a little easier at night as we hurtle towards the start of the season. One thing is for sure, these Celtics remain on the mission to win it all. Promising thing to Boston fans is that Tatum doesn't forget the hard times after a devastating loss, which would certainly mean motivation for their star player and as a team as a whole. And Boston's forward said that reflecting on a loss in the finals by the Warriors, definitely not a good feeling, he says. And what he saw earlier bothered him more. Golden State celebrating on Boston's home floor. That, says Tatum, who shot only 36.7% from the field during the finals, I'll never forget. It didn't feel like talking to anybody. It didn't feel like being bothered, and it's hard to explain if you've never been in that situation, but losing a championship was miserable. Jayson Tatum has shown us that he can be an all-star and an all-NBA player, but does he have what it takes to take the Celtics to the top? Will Malcolm Brogdon, Marcus Smart, and Al Horford be enough to help win a chip? And considering recently signed Gallinari is injured, nevertheless, it is certain that Tatum is a special player